Whiskey Vaults.
Hello.
We're drinking Bob Dylan whiskey.
Okay. Have we not done an episode about the Bob Dylan whiskey?
Not this one.
Oh.
And
oh.
No, I'm not. Don't look, because you're gonna be excited about this. But this is a gift from the magnificent bastards, Sarah Duncan and Megan Enright.
Sarah Duncan and Megan Enright, you magnificent bastards. I'm so not looking.
Okay.
I'm not looking.
So we know Heaven's Door is Tennessee whiskey, right?
Yep.
No, don't look. Don't look. Tennessee, I gotta get the cap off. Tennessee whiskey. We don't know where they're sourcing it from.
Tennessee?
But, which distillery? They finished this one. This is 10-year-old whiskey, supposedly.
Oh, okay.
And they finished it for 15 months, if I remember correctly. I wrote it down.
Yeah.
Which is a long time.
Yeah.
In the finishing barrels of a specific sort.
Mezcal.
No.
Port?
You're going to be more excited than that. Let's see if you recognize a name, which is unlikely because I didn't totally recognize. I don't have that memory recall on this one either. It was a partnership between the master blender, Ryan Perry of Heaven's Door, and Billy Layton.
No.
From Middleton.
Oh, no kidding.
Because they used Redbreast casks.
Oh, hell yeah. Nice.
Which had sherry in them.
Yeah.
Right? So this is Tennessee whiskey finished for more than a year in Redbreast barrels.
I think even if I would have gone in,
Whoa.
yeah, I think even if I would have gone in fresh and didn't like it, the fact that you said Redbreast barrels,
I know.
I'm kind of like, I like it now.
Well, that's distinct. I will tell you, it doesn't smell anything
Is
like
it not
a generic
projection?
Tennessee
Is
whiskey.
it not projection? Because I'm finding telltale signs of the Irish whiskey that I really dig.
I'm finding this roundness
Yes.
and pastry
vanilla cream,
and the sherry notes, the slightly sweetened.
I'm finding
candied.
I'm finding more of the Irish than I am the sherry. I haven't been looking for the sherry though. I
malt?
was looking immediately for that Irish.
Let it roll and go back, and you'll get those slight ting, little candied notes.
Oh yeah,
That smells really good.
that's nice. I kind of like this. This is already a better nose than I remember having in Heaven's Door.
I will tell you, if they had poured this for me blind, I don't know that I would have guessed it as a bourbon like Tennessee whiskey category.
It changed it that much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad you're seeing that too, because I'm thinking, am I projecting so hard into this glass because of the pedigree that you listed off?
No, if you A-B'd this to any Tennessee whiskey, it's going to be left field. Whoa, what is that? I'm acclimating to the roundness, but it's got this really heavy mid-palate, mid-note that's just it's weighty. All right, I'm going to try it. Let's see.
Got some apple on my left nose hole. And some walnut bread on the right nose hole.
Okay, man, I got to say, that's really good.
Oh, yeah.
And unique. I've not tried anything quite like that before.
It's good. Still squarely whiskey, though.
Yeah.
Finish is nice. Ooh, then the vanilla cream shows up on the finish. Like, it swells up. Come on. Fruity. What are we doing?
Look at those guys.
Oh, I was looking down here. I should have just looked up here. It says Redbreast.
I know. That's why I was trying to don't look at anything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they always get, because it's Bob Dylan, they got a quote. They always get quotes from Bob. I'm really glad Heaven's Door is being associated with Redbreast.
Okay.
Quote, Bob Dylan.
That would have been like a throwaway quote for anybody else.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, man, you can do better than that.
Yeah.
I'm really glad their associations are happening.
You know how book author recommendations work? 90% of the time, you write up what you want them to have said, you send it to them, and they go, yeah, I'm fine with that. You can put my name on it.
Right.
And it gets printed.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're dealing with here. I think someone wrote, I'm really glad Heaven's Door is being associated with Redbreast. It's a thrill and an honor. And then they sent it to Bob Dylan. He's like, yeah,
whatever.
Yeah.
That, man, here's the thing. If you're ghostwriting for Bob Dylan's quote, there's some imagination.
Like, is Bob Dylan going to say, it's a thrill and an honor? I don't know,
It's a thrill and an honor. Okay, once I ramble on a bit, I'm left with a very strong finish still.
Yeah.
And it's a cherry forward finish.
Which is more on the whiskey side of things, I think.
Yeah. the vanilla cream, whatever, that eventually goes away, and it's just right there. Still, man, a very long finish.
I'm going back and getting more berries. Yeah, it's very pretty. It's a very slightly tanniny Irish whiskey kind of dessert whiskey kind of category.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Some sherry, the fruitiness, a little bit. Again, I'm on like a peanut shell kick this morning.
Yeah, you really.
Two in a row.
For breakfast?
The more I go back to this, the more the note that I really like in Irish whiskey, the Redbreast, that loses. That fades into the background. But that's really the thing that I fall in love with on the nose and on the initial taste.
You get rewarded with that with the pour, but then as it opens, it returns to Tennessee whiskey.
Yeah, it gets there. Yeah, but I'm glad the stuff that they did shows up at least on the front end of getting your way through the glass there. We got 50 sticks, 29. I don't know about that rule. A certain amount of heads and tails age out very quickly. One size doesn't fit all, my dude.
When we talk about, oh, this is too tailsy, I'm not talking about like a nice wide cut that you can age out.
Right.
I'm talking about faults.
Yeah.
Right. Now, I will tell you, we have long discussions among distillers in Texas and outside of Texas, and we talked about it in Scotland. You can cut differently based on how you're aging and your climate. So if you know you've got 10 to 12 to 15 years to age, you can cut wider because more things age out.
Yeah.
And new make Scottish whiskey doesn't taste as nice as a lot of new make bourbon or new make American malts.
Yeah.
Because we have to cut more narrow because we get less years for that transformative barrel impact.
Yeah.
So there's not a one size fits all new make. There's a, what is your end goal? When are you going to bottle it? And what are you trying to achieve on that day? And then you set yourself up on your new make to get there. It's depressing. I was talking to Gabe at Balcones. He was like, we're now doing a ton of large profile barrels, right? 60 gallons and up. And he said, we have our distillations and our fermentations dialed in for 3 to 4 to 5 year old single malt and normal barrels, used oak. We don't know how that's going to turn out in 60 gallon plus barrels. We won't find out for another 5 to 6 plus years.
Wow.
And then on that day, we may need to change our fermentations and our distillations on the days that we're filling large profile barrels in order to achieve something different 7 or 8 years from now, which once we change, we won't find out for 7 or 8 years if it worked.
Right.
And then we'll have to change it again.
Yeah.
Jesus, what a brutal trial and error.
The more I go back to this, the less I'm in love with it. It's still not bad. It's not
turning back into Tennessee whiskey. Isn't that weird?
Yeah. It really is.
You acclimate to the uniqueness.
You do.
And you land back into Tennessee whiskey.
And it doesn't get to a place where it's bad and I don't enjoy it. It's just the things that I really liked and enjoyed, those you acclimate to, and what you're left with is something that I'm already very familiar with.
On the nose, the palate is still holding for me.
It's for me, the nose and the palate. Yeah. We have Uncle Mikey's World. Any thoughts on taking some purchased new make and barreling it and comparing it to the company's bourbon offering?
Yeah, no, we do that with ours, but I would do that with. I would love, like, we just bought some Bardstown barrels.
Yep.
I would love if Bardstown would give us some new make. And, like we did with the Scottish whiskey that we got, being able to A/B compare what their new make does in Texas to what they do when it's over here.
Yeah, it's curious that more distilleries that allow sourcing don't have an obvious, here's some new make too.
Yeah, because that's not even part effort.
It's not even part of the discussion.
Yeah, just fill a tote and put it out there. We don't have to sit on it. We don't have to store it.
No, it's a very novel ask whenever it's like, well, what about the new make? It's like, I don't know if we can.
Yeah, I don't know if we're allowed to do that.
It's
a tote.
Way less work for you.
Yeah, and we don't use any of your barrels.
Yeah.
It does freak people out.
No.
Don't know why.
Well, people, I think in a industry, any industry that is this slow. Right. Anything that takes a long time, people get very comfortable with standardized processes, things that they're familiar with, traditions, like, well, this is the tried and true, and this is the formula, this is the way it's always been done. And any deviation outside of that norm, if it's a long time horizon to get to the thing that industry is focused on.
They get nervous.
They don't know what to do.
Well, and also, like, as a brand, protecting of your brand.
Yeah.
If you send someone a barrel that you're like, I can get behind that, whatever you do with it will be fine because I trust it.
Right.
That's different than like, I'm gonna give you new make, and what if you fuck it up?
Right.
What if you put it in bad barrels? What if you don't age it long enough? And then you put it out in the world and you say, we got this from these guys.
So this isn't almost.
All three today were within inches.
This isn't something that's unheard of in the industry. Sometimes people want to keep under wraps where the spirit originally came from, and they'll make you sign something.
Yep.
So in that case, I was like, look, we just want the new make. If you don't want to know it came from X Distillery,
we don't
okay,
care.
we want to be transparent,
Yeah.
but if that's a hang up for you, then fine.
Yeah.
Our main goal is to just get it in a glass and be transparent as possible along the way. If that's not possible, then we're making a decision on whether or not it's worth it for us to get that spirit, even though we're handcuffed and being able to describe that specific part of the process.
What are you gonna do?
Burn it all down.
All right, let's start with Heaven's Door.
A worthwhile and interesting experiment that I loved very much on the front end, and then didn't fall out of love, but just became too familiar to be as exciting as it was whenever I first
turned into a really good Tennessee whiskey.
Here's to fighting, stealing, and drinking.
If you fight me, I fight for a friend.
You steal, may you steal your lover's heart.
And if you drink,
May you drink with us.